True Story Media.
My brother had called and said, "You're on Fox News and they're calling you MAGA Granny." I said, "What? I'm on Fox News?" Oh my God, I had a fit. I'm not a MAGA Granny. Oh my God, it was horrible.
I was going to ask you about that. How do you feel about that title?
Well, now it's X. Remember that, X.
X.
But MAGA gave me a new name now. It's Pam Tifa.
Oh.
I'm taking that name. I'll be Pam Tifa.
I kind of like it. It has a ring to it. Pam Hemphill, formerly known as the MAGA Granny, stormed the U.S. Capitol building on January 6, 2021.
Pam Hemphill, down here at the Capitol.
She recorded the whole thing. In this clip, Pam is following the Proud Boys as they marched to the Capitol before the riots began.
Are we going inside? I want to go inside.
No, we're not going inside.
Well, shit, I did in Boise.
I mean, if you want to go inside.
I know you. You look familiar. Are you the Proud Boys?
Yes.
Oh, I wanted to help you
Today,
guys.
we're going to follow Pam inside the Capitol building and hear how that day unfolded from her perspective.
Are you with the Proud Boys?
They're associates.
Yeah.
We're Penn had a picture writing club.
Oh, okay. I love these guys.
Yes, ma'am. Good people.
Best. So where are we going? I was hoping we'd storm the Capitol.
The Proud Boys didn't seem much in the mood for chatting. They were huffing it to the Capitol, trying to get ahead of the crowd. But Pam followed the Proud Boys anyway. But eventually, she overstayed her welcome.
Ma'am,
Boise.
you can't walk with us. I promise. You can't walk with us. This is silly Proud Boys. Please.
Oh, video.
All right, phone study down the stairs.
It's clearly an all-boys club.
That's right. Looking good, Proud Boys. Looking sharp.
The rest, as they say, is history. The violent insurrection lasted a total of 7 hours, from the time that the first barricade was overturned to the moment the Capitol was secured. Pam was eventually arrested and served 60 days in prison for her role that day. But all is forgiven, right? Because soon she will not have a criminal record. Now, fast forward to January 20th, Trump is back in office, right? And the first thing he does, one of the very first things that he does is that he does a sweeping pardon of everyone that was part of January 6th. But did you actually think he was going to do that?
I knew he was going to do it. You know why?
Why?
They're coming after me, but they're really coming after you. I stand in the way.
In other words, what she's saying is that Trump convinced his base that the justice system and the media and the government weren't just investigating him, they were trying to destroy the everyday Americans who voted for him. Officially, the White House stated that this was, quote, a grave national injustice, and this sweeping act of clemency was the beginning of national reconciliation. But that didn't sit well with Pam Hemphill, because after she received that pardon from the president, she rejected it.
I pleaded guilty because I was guilty. It's that simple. You can't plead guilty and then take a pardon.
We all lived through January 6th. We remember exactly where we were when we first heard that violent rioters attempted to interrupt the Electoral College vote. We've heard the stories countless times, but trust me, you've never heard the story like this. I'm Javier Leiva, and this is Pretend. Stories about real people pretending to be someone else. Following the events of that horrific day, 5 people died. 1 was fatally shot by Capitol Police, not to mention the police officer that was attacked and sprayed with pepper spray outside the Capitol. He collapsed 8 hours later and died of a stroke the following day. But Pam says that she had no idea how bad things were going to get. In order to understand how she ended up walking into the Capitol, you have to know a little bit about her history. I'm just really curious, what was Pam like before the whole Capitol thing? Were you a very political person prior to all of this? Or?
No, I was working as an alcohol and drug substance abuse counselor for 28 years, and I'm in recovery myself. So I was never involved in politics because it just was boring to me and too much division, too much anger all the time. But, I would vote and that kind of thing, but very little involvement in politics.
And during that time, you said you would vote, but most people are not politically engaged. But most people are more concerned about putting food on the table, paying their bills, just getting to work. Who would you typically vote for? Did you have one party affiliation, or were you kind of just voting for the best candidate?
Generally, whoever my family had encouraged me to vote for, mainly Republican.
So how does someone go from not really caring about politics to joining a violent insurrection? Pam said that it all stems from one event. The 2016 Dakota Access Pipeline protests at Standing Rock. This is her origin story. The story of her political radicalization.
The protest in North Dakota against a major oil pipeline continues to grow. Over 100 Native American tribes have joined the fight against the project, saying that it threatens one tribe's water supply and its sacred lands.
I had retired as a substance abuse counselor, and I was just on my phone one day and I saw this video. It was the Standing Rock protest in North Dakota with the Native Americans protesting against the pipeline.
And today we are victorious again.
And I said, that's it. I'm going up there to help them.
But when she got there, her views started to shift because she claims that tribal elders told her that the protest was being, quote, hijacked by outside activist groups like Black Lives Matter and the Free Palestine organizers, who were allegedly using the situation to capture media attention for their own causes. So you went there to stand with the protesters.
With them.
To help the protesters.
Yeah.
And then you left believing the opposite?
The Native American, the chiefs had come to me and said, it's turning bad. It's been hijacked. It's probably best you leave because it's just getting violent. Because I kept wanting to go out with them and protest. I was on the camp and they would say, no, don't do that. And then they came and told me why, that it's really getting bad.
Originally, you were drawn to that because you wanted to help their cause.
I wanted to help them.
Pam felt duped. After staying at the Native American camp for a few days, Pam Hemphill went home to Idaho. Her brother said, why don't you research the other side of the pipeline debate rather than just believing these environmental instigators at face value?
And so I came back and I did my research, but I found out a lot of things I didn't want to find out. People getting money like $1 million.
Paid agitators. She thought the real enemy is not the oil companies, it's the left-wing communist activists. They didn't actually care about the pipeline or the reservation's water supply. They just wanted to cause chaos. But at this point, it was too late. Pam Hemphill was already too far down a conspiracy rabbit hole.
President Trump, in the early morning hours today, tweeted that he wants the American people to march on Washington, D.C. on January 6, 2021.
January 6th.
Storming right into the Capitol.
This could be Trump's last stand.
This is going to be a red wedding going down January 6th. January 6th! Kick that door open!
The time for games is over. The time for action is now.
Is it?
Pam Hemphill didn't just change her mind about the pipeline, she changed her entire media diet. All of a sudden, her algorithm is feeding her extremist right-wing content. Then COVID happened, the lockdowns, mask mandates. It was all too much. But there was one man in her home state of Idaho who seemed to have a solution. His name was Ammon Bundy. Bundy is an anti-government militant who has had many armed standoffs against federal and state authorities. This time, on August 24, 2020, he was leading an angry protest to the Boise State House.
So we ended up having to push our way in. And they allowed us to come in after some pushing and shoving and some shouting. And that sometimes is the way democracy, if you want to call it that, is.
Pam Hemphill was there filming the entire thing. Imagine hundreds of protesters standing shoulder to shoulder, carrying signs and flags, trying to force themselves through a glass door. It was pure chaos. Tell me about your relationship with Bundy and the appeal that he had to you at the time.
I'd heard a little bit about him, not much. Something about holding up the FBI and some land or something. Very little. And he sounded very appealing.
She started posting far-right content and filming anti-mask rallies.
I've never been a joiner of any group, but I went there and he has his Bible, and he knows the Constitution, and you don't know much about his background per se. You don't know he's a far-right extremist, militia, and he was very impressive. And I liked what he was doing, fighting up against the government, their overreach.
But this scene at the Idaho State House was just a dress rehearsal compared to what was coming next. It set the stage for her travel to Washington, D.C., and the live stream of the Capitol attack on January 6th. That is after the break. I don't know if you know you have a Wikipedia page. Did you know that?
Yeah, I saw that. What does that mean? I don't understand that.
I don't know. You made it when you have a Wikipedia page.
No. Oh, yeah. I didn't mean to make it, believe me.
I don't have a Wikipedia page, so. But you know what's interesting about that event is that it's a smaller scale of what's about to happen next, right? With the whole Capitol attack.
Yeah.
And so tell me, how did that happen? Like, how did you end up in Washington, D.C. that day?
Well, from that incident with Bundy and being around Bundy, you really are convinced that they are overstepping our rights. You are feeling like it's our house. We're entitled. The government's, putting rules on that shouldn't be there. So he has this attitude, and you're believing him that he's really standing up for our rights and our constitutional rights. So when January the 6th came along, I bring in Bundy with me, and that's why I had so much anger about him later.
Not physically, but he was there in spirit.
I know you. You know me? No. Pam Hemphill? What? Pam Hemphill. With Adam Bundy?
So something happens right before January 6th, right? And you're having health issues yourself, right? Like this, can you talk about that?
Yeah, I'd been diagnosed with breast cancer, had surgery, and was scheduled to start chemotherapy, I think, in the middle of January. And my brother, it was Christmas time, my brother called me and said, how would you like to go to D.C. and hear Trump's, probably his last speech? And I said, I'd love that. So it was a Christmas gift to go there. And I thought that would be fun.
But I mean, you just had surgery.
I know. It's a peaceful protest, right?
Right.
There's no danger.
And I think that's important, right? You didn't go out to Washington with the intention of storming the Capitol, did you?
No, give me a break. No way. It's our house, though, right? A lot of people, I believe, that were there were just as uninformed about what was going to happen. I mean, how do you know?
Oh, no. I mean, it's pretty clear to me that a lot of people did know. Like, there's documented evidence that there was planning.
Cowboys.
But I don't think that the vast majority of the people there thought that they were going to invade the Capitol.
No.
So did you actually attend the speech that Trump
No, I couldn't get in because there was way too many people. and having stitches, I knew the crowd by accident could hurt me. So I couldn't get in.
How did you get swept into the whole Capitol thing? Like, how did you know to go to the Capitol?
Well, that's the thing. I'm walking around going, oh, God, I missed this speech. I couldn't get in. What do I do now? So I started asking people, what's any plans? And they said, no, I think he just said for us to go down to the Capitol. And I thought, why does he want us to go to the Capitol? That he was coming for what? He's just had a speech. And then I thought, well, maybe he's going to meet up with Congress. Who knows? I mean, I didn't know what he's planning. I thought, okay, well, I'll get there before everybody else. And I got in front of the Capitol and I saw all the gates and the guards and everything. I thought, this is great. And I said, I don't know why it's all fenced up like that, but you never know. This is on my video. I said, there are some crazy people, so it's good that it's guarded.
Historically, the January 6th Electoral College certification is pretty dry and bureaucratic formality. Because the U.S. Capitol Police knew massive protests were planned for 2021, they ramped up their numbers, far beyond a typical joint session of Congress. But the problem was that they entirely misjudged the severity of the threat. January 6, 2021 was a massive intelligence breakdown. Every agency knew what was brewing, but no one took the lead to prevent it from happening. The FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, and even the U.S. Capitol Police's own intelligence division had received massive amounts of tips and online data showing that extremist groups were openly planning to bring weapons, occupy the building, and use violence. The U.S. Capitol Police did set up temporary barriers around the Capitol, like interlocking metal bike racks and plastic snow fencing designed to guide foot traffic, but not to stop a massive mob. So let's get back to the Capitol right before it was breached. Pam was following some guys around. They seemed to have a plan.
And I turn around and who's walking this way towards me? The Proud Boys. I didn't know it was the Proud Boys. But I went up to them and I said, hi, are you the Proud Boys? They said,
what a hell of a day. I love these guys.
Left side speed up.
I'm going to go in the Capitol. I'll see you guys in there. You want me to start? I'll go in first. I was the one that went in first. So. They just say, oh, some old woman, they don't bother me. But I need backup.
They'd be angry if we went in there.
Well, whose house is it?
It must be a public building.
Signs and speeches are great, but after a while, they don't hear you. You got to take action.
Yeah, with a rope.
Now I'm thinking, you got to understand my thinking, the Proud Boys are the good guys. They're the saviors. Trump said, stand back, stand by. So they're going to be with Trump, in my mind, and I want to be there videotaping because I'm live on Facebook and everybody can see all this, right? So it'd be like exciting, like walking with Elvis Presley, you know what I mean?
But right when they reached the Capitol, they split off. The Proud Boys went to the west side of the Capitol, the side facing the Washington Monument and the National Mall. This is where the inauguration stage was being built and where the massive scaffolding battles took place. And Pam went over to the east side, the side facing the Supreme Court. Now, while rioters breached the building from multiple points on all sides of the Capitol, the West Front became the site of what law enforcement and prosecutors have described as a brutal medieval hand-to-hand combat that lasted hours. That's the stuff that we've seen on television. We've all watched the videos from that day. And I've been watching hours of it just to prepare for this episode, and it is much worse than I even remembered. Especially the violence inside the Lower West Terrace Tunnel. Rioters were spraying bear mace and wasp spray into enclosed spaces, making it difficult for the officers to breathe. Attackers beat the officers with stolen police batons, metal crutches, hockey sticks, flagpoles. Several officers, such as Metropolitan Police Officer Michael Fanone, were dragged out of the tunnel and into the mob. Fanone was beaten, stripped of his badge and radio, and repeatedly tased in the back of the neck until he lost consciousness. A rioter named Daniel Rodriguez told the FBI that he thought he was just saving the country.
Why did you taser him? You said he was struggling. At that point, he's struggling to be let go. Yeah. And you chose to assault him while he's struggling? Well, I just felt that, like, I didn't know what they were going to do to him. And so you tasered him to protect him? I mean, that sounds stupid. I don't know if I tased him to protect him, but maybe just to, like, so he wouldn't struggle and get hurt, maybe. And honestly, I didn't think very much about it because when I did it, I was like, oh my God, what did I just do?
Another officer, Daniel Hodges, was pinned between the metal frame of the Capitol doors and the crushing weight of the mob. Hodges is filmed screaming in agonizing pain, bleeding from his mouth. A rioter reached through, yanked off his gas mask, and started beating the officer's head with a baton against the door frame. The east side of the Capitol, where Pam was about to enter, was no picnic either. Rioters were shouting at police. This is audio from Pam's recording.
Hey, Mr. Policeman, when this crowd comes through the gate, I would go running.
Yeah.
I would go running home if I were you. But you don't have 3 million of you here today, but we got 3 million of us, and we're going in our house. Like it or not, you can be with us or against us, but if you go against us, you'll get your ass run over.
Go home, police! Go home, police! We don't feel safe! We don't see... Oh!
Let us drain this wall! You won't get defunded if you let us drain this wall! We want Trump! We love Trump! We love Trump! We love Trump!
Hey, how y'all gonna stop 5 million patriots?
Pam and the rioters on the east side reached the bike barriers. They're met by Capitol Police wearing riot gear and shields.
Please lead us to the steps. Lead us. Let our voice get heard. Let our voices get heard.
Word is getting out that most of the action is happening on the other side of the Capitol.
Smoke grenades at the crowd because they were starting to bum rush the building. They're so overwhelmed with 2 million people on the other side.
All of that.
Now's the time. Now's the time.
It's the time.
Sir!
One of the protesters tries to convince the officer to let them through.
These people aren't going to hurt you. These people are not going to hurt you. There isn't a single person here will hurt anyone.
That's right.
All they want is through the steps of our house.
There's a lot of violence on the other side of this building.
We're not on the other side of the building.
It's our house.
It's our street. It's our
Let us in.
The rioters pushed the bike racks and broke through.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. In the middle of it. Oh, God. Oh, shit.
Pam sounds scared, yet she continues to march towards the building.
And I knew then I was in trouble. I should have gotten out of there.
I got 40. Stay safe. I'm fine. I'm a journalist.
At this point, the cops begin pushing the rioters back as they walk backwards up the Capitol stairs. Pam gets knocked down and is trampled by the crowd rushing in.
Are you hurt?
Yeah.
The officer grabs Pam and picks her up.
I got it. Come on. I got it. Are you okay?
I got 40 stitches.
Okay, come on.
I get up there, they push me on a Capitol Police officer, and they stepped on my head, my stomach, broke my glasses, cut my knee. I was not breathing. If the Capitol Police had not pulled me up, I would not be here. I know that. I could not breathe. They were stepping all over me, stepping on my head. The crowd, the rioters. And I sat there for about, 10, 20 minutes till I got my air back. I couldn't breathe. And then I went up, because you know me, I got to videotape everything.
Pam Hemphill reached the door of the Capitol.
You pushed yourself through the barriers, and we're up in the Capitol. Well, I'm up here in the Capitol. I was the first one. I don't know if I'm going to be on the news or not, but I don't care about that. You know, we the people have had enough. They're not taking Trump out of office. No way. He's our president. You know
And
what?
I talked to the captain again, another one that was up there, and I asked him, I said, why aren't you calling the National Guard? This is getting out of hand. And he said, I'm trying. I mean, everybody's panicking. You could see the panic in the officers. Like, what do we do? So I just stood around and videotaped, and then I saw people coming in and out.
Rioters who had already broken into the Capitol from the west side of the building made their way to the rotunda, pushed the heavy east doors open from inside the building, and that's when the dam broke. Hundreds of rioters, including the Oath Keeper militia, flooded the Capitol rotunda.
because I got shoved in. I sat down, I saw an officer, and I asked him to get me out of there, and he did. He helped me.
Where are we now?
You were on the house side.
Oh, okay.
Captain Stanton said it's okay. She's got a lot of stitches, and I didn't want to give her a push. Just somebody that's upstairs.
We went through all the aisles, the hallways, and got me out safely. I just turned to him and said, I thank you so much. Really appreciate you. God bless you. And he said, God bless you. And someday I hope to find him and thank him for helping me get out.
So be careful, okay?
What's your name again?
My name is Joe.
Say hi. You take care.
Thanks, you too.
And when I was walking down the hallway with him, I said, are you guys going to be okay? He said, yeah, we'll be okay.
Are you guys okay today? There's no danger, really. Right? Thanks for what you do. God bless the blue. God bless Trump.
And then I went around the building. I don't know where I was because I had never been at the Capitol.
I got escorted out.
But I followed people and I went back to where I was, where it all started.
I am a child of the Most High God. This country was established by God our Father Yahweh, and we are taking it back for the glory of God. I breached the doors today. I heard somebody saying that they're going to prosecute every one of us that breached the doors. Bring it on! Bring it on! Bring it on, because we are patriots!
If anybody wants to say anything, I got an open mic going on. You say a few words. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Pam Hemphill. I was the first one up here. I got trampled. My glasses are broke. And you know what? That's nothing compared to what Trump has done for me. I can break my legs or whatever. We did this in Boise, Idaho.
And there was the Buffalo Man, Chansley.
Yeah.
And I thought, what a weird outfit. But I got to go videotape him, right? I got to get that on video.
We are setting the example for the rest of the world, ladies and gentlemen. We are setting the example. We are setting the bar.
That's him, Jacob Chansley, also known as the QAnon shaman. He was essentially the unofficial mascot of January 6th. How can you forget his bare chest and coyote skin headdress with buffalo horns? He used his bullhorn to shout over the crowd.
We are showing them that globalists can be defeated. We are showing them that the communists can lose and can be defeated.
Shortly before this video was recorded, Chansley walked into the Senate floor just minutes after the Secret Service had evacuated Vice President Mike Pence and the senators from the room. Now he's outside the building with Pam and the rest of the protesters. I remember watching this unfold for hours in the news, and I was thinking, when the hell is the president going to make these people stop? Then finally, 3.5 hours into the riot, Donald Trump posted a video to Twitter telling his supporters,
I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace.
Jacob Chansley, the QAnon shaman, got the message and told everyone to go home.
Donald Trump has asked everybody to go home.
I don't know about that.
Donald Trump has asked everybody to go home. Go in and go home. Go in and go home.
I'm telling people you're not coming back through this door. But I turned to the officers in the window and I said, don't worry, I'm not going to let them back in. I think I'm a Marine. You know, I forget I'm 67 years old.
Donald Trump asked everybody to go home. So what are we going to do? We're going to obey our president. We're going to do as he asks. Okay, then stay, motherfucker. I don't give a shit. This is America. Oh, don't do any more damage in this building, you guys. Don't do any more damage in the building.
Don't desecrate it.
Yeah, this is our house. Do not desecrate it, okay? Sacred place.
Did you ever consider yourself MAGA?
It wasn't MAGA back then per se. It wasn't being called MAGA that I remember. I remember accusations of it being a cult, and I looked around one day and everybody has all these shirts and hats and all this Trump, and I thought, maybe they're right. I had a moment of thinking, am I in a cult? No, this is not a cult.
I mean, did you?
Well, they all look like cult members. I mean, we're all wearing these T-shirts and we're obsessed with Trump. I know now, never get in a crowd like that. There's no excuse. I'm explaining, but I want you to know There's no excuse. I had chances to leave. That's why I'm guilty. I'm not a victim. But that's what happens. I'm just sharing this so people next time are ever around something like that, get out of the way.
When we come back from the break, the fog lifts and Pam Hemphill realizes that she might be going to prison for her little Capitol rendezvous.
Zootopia 2 has come home to Disney Plus.
Let's go!
Get ready for a new case.
We're gonna crack this case and prove we're the greatest partners of all time!
New friends.
You are Gary the Snake. And your last name? The Snake.
Dream Team. And new habitats.
Zootopia has a secret reptile population.
You can watch the record-breaking phenomenon at home.
You're clearly working at
Zootopia 2, now available on Disney Plus, rated PG.
Security program on spreadsheets, new regulations piling up, and audit dread? It's time for Vanta. Vanta automates security and compliance, brings evidence into one place, and cuts audit prep by 82%. Less manual work, clearer visibility, faster deals, zero chaos. Call it compliance, or call it compliance. Get it? Join the 15,000 companies using Vanta to prove trust. Go to vanta.com/calm.
So I was very angry. I'm still angry. They have to go crazy and beat up officers and break windows. We don't do that. That's not peaceful assembly, because that's not what I was there to do. None of us, not America. This is not America. The reputation was Republicans leave a Capitol cleaner than when they got there, right? We're peaceful. Republicans are peaceful. We don't do riots like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. I was just like so heartbroken. Yeah, and I was a part of it. I was there.
Yeah.
That's why it's been hard to forgive myself. But I'm not giving an out. How do you predict that? How do you know this is going to happen? It's not like I knew it was going to happen. I showed up anyway.
After watching the news, Pam knew she was in trouble. It was only a matter of time before the FBI showed up at her doorstep.
I'm really worried. I don't know what to do. I didn't mean to break the law. You know me, but I did. I said, if I'm in trouble, I'm going to turn myself in. I'm going to run in for no FBI. You know what I mean? You don't do that. I didn't know what to do because there's no arrest out for me.
Pam Hemphill was arrested on August 3rd, 2021, 8 months after the Capitol attack.
The day they came to my door, and I need to put this in here, it's very important. They were very professional. They treated me kind. Even the woman police officer was almost like I don't know how to explain it, but I was crying in the bathroom and she was comforting me.
Pam was worried because she had her last chemotherapy appointment later that day, and she was afraid she was going to miss it.
And I'd tell them, I have my last appointment. We know, Miss Hemphill, you'll be out and you'll make your appointment.
Since she was only facing misdemeanor charges and recovering from cancer surgery, they let her go right back home that same afternoon and let her wait for trial there. And so, now, what are you thinking? The FBI shows up at your door. Do you think you're going to prison? Or, what's going through your mind?
Actually, I'm relieved. You don't know if you're wanted. I was like, okay, what a relief. Now I don't have to worry if I'm going to get arrested or not. The answer was there right at my door.
Yeah. Pam ended up serving 60 days in prison. I asked her if this was when she had her change of heart about MAGA, Trump, January 6th, and she said no. Her transformation didn't come until after she was released. Post-prison, Pam was still a believer, but she was now seeing things through a different lens. She started noticing that some January 6ers were actually supporting some of the violent actions that took place that day.
Why are they supporting those that hurt officers? So it didn't turn out to be what I thought it was going to be.
Then she started noticing her side spreading misinformation, conspiracy theories that just didn't add up.
They lie, they're trying to make money off their lies, and I was done.
Pam told me that her final day as the MAGA Granny happened after a session with her therapist.
Dr. Rice looked at me and said, Miss Hemphill, you're not a victim of January 6th. You were a volunteer. I got mad at him. I thought, but Dr. Rice, I wouldn't push barriers. I was still hanging on to this little victimhood. I left his office. I said, never going back. That night, I realized he was right. I was guilty. No excuses. No, I wouldn't do this. No, I wouldn't have done. No. I was guilty. That's all there is to it, Pam. Talked to myself, got right with God and myself, and said, that's it. You know you're guilty and it's okay.
As Pam was starting to realize what really happened that day, the president and his supporters launched one of the greatest PR stunts in American history. I mean, scratch that, world history. How can you possibly turn this day into something positive?
You know, if you didn't know the TV footage was a video from January the 6th, you would actually think it was a normal tourist visit.
Suddenly, it wasn't the rioters' fault for beating the officers or destroying federal property. The January 6ers were actually the real victims, the true heroes, the patriots. Here's Trump opening his re-election campaign in Waco, Texas, with a recording of the national anthem by the January 6th defendants who were in prison.
Justice for All, featuring President Donald J. Trump and the J6 Choir.
Trump continues to downplay the violence. Don't trust what your eyes just witnessed. Instead,
I call them the J6 hostages.
Many of those people are very innocent people. They did nothing wrong.
And they're great people. Many of them are just great people.
But that was a day of love.
After Trump won the 2024 election, it was expected that he was going to issue pardons to some of the January 6 rioters. Right before the inauguration, the Vice President-elect J.D. Vance tried to rationalize any future pardons.
Look, if you protested peacefully on January the 6th and you've had Merrick Garland's Department of Justice treat you like a gang member, you should be pardoned. If you committed violence on that day, obviously you shouldn't be pardoned.
But that's not what happened.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Full pardon or commutation?
Full pardon.
On his first day back in office, Trump wiped the slate clean for nearly 1,500 people who had been charged, convicted, or sentenced for their role in the Capitol attack. Even the ones who violently attacked the police. On top of the 1,500 full pardons, Trump also wiped away the prison sentence to 14 other high-profile militia leaders who had been locked up not just for rioting, but for orchestrating and organizing the violent plot to overthrow the government. Some of the people he pardoned had long criminal rap sheets for prior crimes, including rape, assault, child abuse, domestic violence, and many of them have gone on to reoffend, like this guy named Matthew Huddle. Huddle was stopped for speeding.
I just want to let you know that I'm a January 6th defendant.
What do you mean?
I stormed the Capitol. I'm waiting on my pardon.
Really?
Yeah, and I can't really afford to get in any trouble right now.
The deputy, he chuckled and proceeded to arrest him.
So today you are going to come with me.
Well, I can't.
You're going to have to, okay? You're going to come with me today, all right?
No, I can't go to jail for this.
But Matthew Huddle had other plans.
You turn around, put your hands on. Don't you do it, buddy!
According to police records, Huddle pulled out a gun and the officer shot and killed him. This is just one of the many examples of January 6ers going on to commit more crimes. As for Pam, she was disgusted by the pardons and wanted none of it. How did you formally request to have your pardon rejected? Like, did you write a letter or what?
I don't know how the idea came, but I thought I'm going to call my local representative here, the Senator Rush. We'll see what happens, because everybody's telling me it's going to be impossible. You're going to need a lawyer, and even a lawyer won't help. I said, well, I'm going to try anyway. I don't want that pardon. But it worked. They sent the letter. They sent back an email to them, letting them know that I will not be receiving the pardon.
Pam Hemphill even returned to the Capitol and went in front of Congress.
My name is Pam Hemphill. I'm a mother and a grandmother and a cancer survivor and a retired addiction counselor. I am also a convicted criminal for what I did on January the 6th, 2021. Thank you for having me back to the Capitol today. I pleaded guilty to my crimes because I did the crime. When Donald Trump pardoned us, I rejected the pardon. Accepting that pardon would be lying about what happened on January the 6th. I am guilty, and I own that guilt.
letting them know that I will not be receiving the pardon. I don't know if you saw the letter, but it says from the Office of the Pardon of Attorney, Mrs. Hemphill's non-acceptance is noted, and there is no further action needed. Additionally, our office will not issue Ms. Hemphill a certificate of pardon and will refrain from requesting any notion of a pardon on her criminal history record.
Wow, so it actually worked.
Yeah.
Wow. But after January 6th, Pam Hemphill wasn't the only one to break away from the crowd. When Trump announced the sweeping pardons for those facing criminal charges for January 6th, one other person joined Pam Hemphill in rejecting the pardon. Meet Jason Riddle. This is Jason Riddle talking with the Leaving MAGA podcast.
What happened is not okay, and it can't happen again. It shouldn't happen again. It doesn't need to happen again. Like, I don't need his pardon. I don't need his approval, nor do I want it.
Jason Riddle was one of the people who entered the Capitol that day. He told the Leaving MAGA podcast that he had a serious drinking problem, and that was causing him to get fired from every job he ever held. His whole identity was tied to MAGA and Trump, but after the arrest, he was forced to sober up.
And so then they added a stipulation into my bail conditions of needing to breathe into a breathalyzer twice a day. Things started to connect, and I started thinking rationally. The things Trump was saying didn't seem so rational, and I didn't really agree with them. But I kept that to myself, and I reported to prison, where I became more or less a Robin Hood folk hero in the prison for having stormed the Capitol building. Not even with the inmates, with the correctional officer staff were cheering me on for having stormed the Capitol building. So I became this mascot for douchebags that was helping me in prison.
Riddle says that it finally hit him after Trump got indicted in New York.
And he asked people to come out and protest for him. And I remember my first reaction in my head to that was, Trump, how can you do that? Where, if people come out and protest, there might be another riot. There might be another Ashley Babbitt. Someone else might be killed. How can you do this, Trump? And I remember thinking to myself, like, it's because Trump doesn't know you, for starters. The fact you think you're even thinking about his feelings proves you have an unhealthy obsession. And I'm an idiot for even believing he possibly cares.
It turns out rejecting a pardon comes with a price. And so what has been the blowback?
You name it. I'm an FBI informant. I'm a liar. It's been going on for over 2.5 years. These people are so obsessed with me. It's unbelievable.
Have you had any threats?
Oh, yeah. Death threats. Oh, yeah. SWAT threats, phone calls. My phone number's been put out there, my address, whatever. They just want me to shut up. No. Somebody's going to harm you that they won't tell you.
You would think that after all of this, that Pam Hemphill would put her protesting days behind her. But that's not Pam. Pam traveled to Portland, Oregon to stand outside an ICE processing facility and protested the new administration's militarized crackdowns. So you haven't given up on your political ambitions?
No. Trump had said that there was a riot going on, the Antifa terrorists down at Portland were burning buildings. He's looking at a video for 2020. We know Trump lies. I've got to go there. I've got to see it from my own eyes. If there is a violent protest, I'm leaving. I went there. Long story short, I fell in love with these people. I talked to them individually, got to know them. In any group, they're going to have your bad apples. They're going to do things you don't want them doing, like graffiti or throwing a rock. It was always been peaceful.
But it sounds like you still have the fight in you. And
oh, yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this series. This will be the final episode of my pardon series. That is, unless the president pardons Ghislaine Maxwell. Hey, we'll keep an eye out. Before we go, here are some honorable mentions. George Santos, the disgraced Republican congressman from New York. Todd and Julie Chrisley, the stars of the reality show Chrisley Knows Best, who were convicted of bank fraud and tax evasion. Or how about Jason Galanis, known as Porn's New King because of his massive investment in the porn industry. Galanis was locked up for fraud. Charles Kushner, Jared's father for tax evasion, and you can't forget the rap stars. During his first term, Trump notoriously pardoned Lil Wayne and commuted the federal sentence of rapper Kodak Black. But he picked up right back where he left off in his second term. In May 2025, Trump signed a full presidential pardon for Louisiana rapper NBA Youngboy, wiping away his federal gun conviction and freeing him just in time for him to go back on tour. Alright, that's all for today. This episode was written and produced by me, Javier Leiva. Our theme music is by Joe Basile with thechicken.net. We'll be back next week with a bonus episode that I think all of you will love. It's recommending the best podcast episodes of all time. I have a very special guest coming along, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And then after that, we are starting our military cult series. And then I'm working on a crazy story that's just unfolding as we speak. I'll keep you posted on that. Until then, talk to you soon.